Boy, oh boy, the Valorant burnout is definitely here, and it is hitting like a truck across the entire content space, and I believe the players themselves. So let's discuss a little bit of what this burnout is, why it's happening, and will we get through it? By the way, one quick thing before we start. This guy is the lucky freaking winner for the 100,000 VP giveaway. Just by subscribing, you'll be part of these insane giveaway. I mean, I've never given away that much, but I'm excited to do much bigger stuff in the future. Congratulations, and let's get into the topic. While Twitter isn't the best place to kind of take my data, I guess, the truth is, it's been all over Twitter from both players and content creators' perspective. I've seen countless tweets of people saying Valorant's boring, they're burnt out of content, they're burnt out of the game, and they just feel there's kind of like lackluster. And it is true, the game is feeling a little bit stale, and I believe this kind of has multiple tiers to it, and I just wanted to discuss it a little bit. Let's start on the content front of Valorant, and truth be told, this is extremely accurate. Go ahead, just do it with me for a second, all right? Take a second to open up YouTube, keep me in the background, search up Valorant in the YouTube search bar. Okay, now search by the last week or the last month if you'd like, and search by most viewed. You're gonna quickly realize that it's either content that we've already seen before or is content from big personalities. Now, big personalities, Shroud, Tens, Tarek, these are the top 0.001%. When they're pulling in the top views and those top views are just in the low 200,000s, that's a pretty poor sign for YouTube and the market. It's actually kind of scary because these people are big in the sense of a lot of people just know them. People already watch them for their personality more than their gameplay even. I know Tens is like one of the best Valorant players, sure, but you know Tens is Tens, his personality, you know him with Kaide, you know things about him. You already have that kind of social connection with the dude, and he's already at the top of Valorant, peak player, pro player, and it takes all that to pull in low 200,000s. It just means compared to what Valorant used to get, the market is shrinking. At least the content space is shrinking. And what happens here is when we see content on YouTube, like I've been doing YouTube for a long time, when we start seeing content stagnate like this and all the top views are coming from quite basic content, it's pretty bad sign for the space itself. Now, I know a lot of you guys are just average players, you might not care, but it is important because the reflection of creation is the reflection of what you get in game. If content creators with maximum editing, people like us doing custom games, we have all this creative power to try to make the best content possible, can't actually come up with new recipes to, I guess, flavor the style of entertainment, that's pretty poor. Because if we can't do it, how can you expect the players to make a game fun and engaging while playing it itself? But all right, I nerded out. As a content creator, I nerded out. What about for the player? You might say, okay, but I don't really even watch that much content. Okay, I'm watching you, but I don't really watch content much. I'm more of a gamer. I mainly play the game, but I'm feeling that burnout. I'm feeling a little bit bored. So let's discuss that part next. And I want to start by reading a tweet thread by Ziptai himself, the Yoru god. It feels like Valorant really needs something, but there isn't really much they could do. New agents don't feel hype anymore. Same with new maps. Sure, the replay system would be cool, but that wouldn't add any hype. I don't think fixing ranked, whatever that means, would do much. Maybe it's just me, but the Valorant esports side really hasn't intrigued me like I thought it would when the game came out. Overall, just kinda sad. Or maybe I'm just burned out of the game, who knows. Also, this is going to be the most biased opinion on the internet, but Yoru Neon were the best kinds of new agents hands down. The problem is nobody plays either of them at all. So why would Riot continue with the flashy, super high skill ceiling style agents if nobody plays them? So I actually love the thoughts here, and I think we can dissect them little by little. So the first thing is he said that hype agents, or I guess agents don't feel as hype, same thing with new maps. I think this is partially incorrect. I do think new maps are still very hype, and I think new agents can be hype. Harbor was just very, very boring, and I actually believe it connects you to your last point. You said Neon and Yoru are some of the most fun agents, and you're not wrong. Chamber and Jet actually sit up there because they're flashy, they can create these plays, they're these of course, they're super flashy, super engaging to watch. And I don't think you're on your own when you say these things. However, if we were to take his thoughts and rephrase them, I think it's more about Riot taking risks. I think it's about Riot getting ready to have fun with the game a little bit. Now, people are going to take two sides of this. People might believe that Riot shouldn't over push it, like we don't want a shield or we don't want something too crazy. but I would say give it a chance. I would say Riot needs to take these risks and give it a freaking chance, because what makes Valorant stand out is their abilities. It's the fact that you can create these flashy plays, and I want less smokes, less things in my eyes, and I want more of these crazy, high mechanical, engaging plays with huge thought processes. Yoru is a great example. However, I'm actually going to use Killjoy, and I know Killjoy is extraordinarily hated. However, when she was first teased and a turret was being added, Hiko infamously said that the game is dead, basically. Okay, that's not his exact words, but you get the idea. A lot of people actually hated the concept, and while people still hate Killjoy, it wasn't as game-breaking as most people thought. She had a cool concept. Until now, she's unique in that sense. People who love Killjoy will continue to play her forever because she hit a guitar string. She hit the right tune for a lot of people. I believe Riot needs to start taking more risks and more engagements on the agent side. I mean, think about it. Okay, think about it for a second. Cypher should technically be quite the fun agent. He needs a rework, in my opinion, at this point, but Riot's left him for dead. As of now, he's got no buffs. He's not played, while I think his kit is completely untouched. While the same things are completely controlling the game, and we feel like it's getting repetitive, but maybe it is because we keep seeing the same freaking things. Sage walls are unmatched, so we will see Sage wall plays consistently throughout our games. Think of smokes. Smokes all work the exact same way. If you were to play Omen and understand where you should smoke and position in a Radiant lobby in order to engage properly, you will replicate this on Brimstone, as well as Harbor, as well as any other smoker controller, because they all do the same basic thing. A controller that maybe spices it up a little and maybe a little bit more like Astra was a pretty cool attempt at high skill level, high mechanical, unique fun. However, she was overtuned, took over the game, and now she's undertuned so bad no one will touch her. And it's this lack of balance with the lack of risk put together that I believe is draining Valorant dry. Now to wrap up the tweet, I want to say he touches on ranked. I don't think it has anything to do with Valorant feeling boring. However, esports is a good topic because if Riot is not careful, they will create the Overwatch effect, which is when Blizzard tried to balance Overwatch 1 for esports so much that it harmed the average player. In the end, esports are only like 1% of the entire player base, and when Riot is too scared to take risks because of competitive integrity, it will harm the end user, because us end users are more okay with playing with risk, playing with something maybe too overpowered if it can bring something unique to the game in the long term. Also, to kind of curveball a little bit of science, Valorant is 2 years old, and between 6 months and 2 years, us humans do tend to get bored. We get over the honeymoon phase. We start to get fatigued of anything we're truly doing. And I would say for content creators and players, this is kind of goes back to day one. Most content creators and players are in it together from day one, and around the 2 year mark, it is about time for us humans to naturally start feeling bored and burnt out. So there's also that effect that Riot can't really do much about unless they want to keep spicing things up heavily. But this is no Fortnite. It is still a competitive tactical shooter, and they are taking the route of CSGO. I don't know if Riot really has plans for this to be one of the biggest games ever, and more so be one of the longer lasting games. I think Riot is looking at the long-term projection of like a decade, 10 years or more, over the short-term dopamine hit and hype. So in the end, what can Riot really do? Because I kind of contradicted myself here, right? Right at the end, I kind of fought my own thoughts. And truth be told, I think there's a middle ground. I think Riot can add more enticing, more engaging, more risk-taking agents on top of opening up custom games way more, give us more options so the community can create things, build things, and have fun while leaving the competitive integrity quite intact. It might slip it a little bit, but not much. It's definitely worth it to keep the game engaging and fun for the vast majority of players. And while no one can predict the future, if we're going to be looking at League of Legends, Riot isn't the biggest risk taker. I think they're going to go for the long term. They're going to look for the dedicated community, and I think they might have trouble capturing the broader audience. I expect Valorant to stay niche, at least in the short term, but let me know what you guys think down below.